This time we have Deco, you know her well, going up against level 1. That is their name. It is. I wasn't joking when I said it was just a tiny little one. And we are starting on Main Street. This is the winners semifinals. We say large hand from level 1, instead opting to redraw, getting a slightly different hand. We'll see a bit of a passive tri-stringer play. Though, I do like the placement that was shown momentarily right there. Splat Charger right down the middle is a very interesting play. We'll see a Scrapper as well from Deco, hoping to activate that Scrapper Mouse combo. We'll see level 1 showing off the Splooshomatic combo being played next to ZF Splat Charger, playing Tri-Stringer, hoping to take and block off a bit of space. What looks to be a very combo-oriented deck. We've got Tri-Stringer Reflux, we've got Splat Charger, and the Splooshomatic. We see the Maws combo finished off very early on. Overlorder is a new card introduced in this past season. It's very interesting. Deco filling in level 1 own Tri-Stringer. That is a very interesting play, and it works because without any blocks underneath it, level 1 isn't able to actually activate their own special block from this. So we're instead going to have to, I guess, wait for level 1 to find another way to activate it. However, with all of these large cards, I don't really see a way for that to happen, especially since they lost their only chance to fill in a Tri-Stringer to their opponent, Deco filling in the special for them. Marigold is a possible play, however, what I believe is supposed to be the combo, the Zekofin, is already been played, and so now level 1 is just trying to figure out where they're able to play any of their large cards. They may only be able to get 1 or 2 of them off, as Deco, Tony Kenza, I believe we know what card is going to be coming up soon there. The Tentacirellabrella doesn't have a place to activate Marigold. As we see, level 1 really has a lot of large cards left. No real small cards. The smallest card left is a Slosher, and it won't be able to activate that many special blocks. Though it does gain a lot of turf points for level 1, there isn't a whole lot of special blocks to be gained from it. And that's something that Deco is exceeding in pretty well right now. As we can see, only the Reflux Deco is what's left to be played for level 1. The Splash Wall filling in Tony Kenza, bringing Deco up to a nice 6 special points compared to level 1's 2. Level 1 will have to pass this turn. Large cards galore in this deck, and no small cards to take advantage or fill in the spaces. As both players pass, we go into the final 3 turns. Deco with 7 special points, and level 1 with 3. Looking to be a bit aggressive here, go for an Ink Vac special. We're going to have to see how that pays off, because as far as I'm concerned, level 1 doesn't really have a way to get any extra special points after that, so instead is going to see how the Slosher can be played. They'll be able to get 2 with that placement. After passing, would get a 3rd special point, potentially. We see the Booyah Bomb played from Deco. Unfortunately, that may block off quite a bit of space for their own special attack, and now we're going to have to see how level 1 responds and tries to get any more special points. With the Ink Vac in their hand, they want to find a space where this Slosher will activate its own special point and the special point of another card, and we're going to see that very nicely here. It's almost even, however, Deco has 6 special points, meaning that she's able to fire off basically any special attack she wants, whereas level 1 has to simply settle for a 312, so something like Scallop would be especially detrimental, because if Scallop was played perfectly, there's no way for level 1 to be able to use a Ink Vac. We're going to see Hype Myth Storm Big Man played, but it will lose the clash to the Ink Vac being of higher value. And with that, I believe level 1 will take the first game, make that a 1-0 set. A bit of an unusual strategy, not having, if I'm not mistaken, there weren't any cards below 6 squares. The Slosher was the smallest card, and so just taking so much space and then just, I guess, passing to get your special points and making use of your Slosher to get the special points. I suppose that strategy will work out for level 1, as Deco now gets to counter pick. Looking through the various stages, going to Thunder Point, just going to go right down the line. Just as a bit of background information, the players themselves get to vote on which starting stages are. Whenever they register, they're able to vote for the starting maps that they want to play on, and by far the most common are River Drift, Main Street, and Thunder Point. Additionally, we had a tie as well. Lakefront Property will be the first game in the winners finals set. That'll be coming up after this. As we move on to Thunder Point, both players playing a bit to the center of the map, trying to take as much space as they can. The question is, will they play defensive or offensive? And it looks like level 1 is going to favor offense here, with a very nice heavy splatling that will loop around the Hype Manta Storm Big Man. Deco will have to see a defensive play here from Deco. Wouldn't be all that great considering how far the heavy splatling Deco reaches, and we're going to see that there. It is not able to defend against that heavy splatling. How will level 1 take advantage of this is the next question, because a bunch of smaller cards in the hand, not able to take full advantage of, I suppose, the enemy base being open now. Instead looking to see what cards can be played to defend their own side of the map. Splushmatic can kind of fit into the Zinc that was played. It can also be played a bit offensively, but without really many large cards here to take advantage. Level 1 will be playing a bit defensive, and the special block from the Tri-Stringer will just eke through. We'll see the Octo Trooper being played, going to activate the Splushmatic special, and hopefully defending against any further push from Deco. I find it interesting that despite playing very aggressive on turn 2, level 1 hasn't really played anything else aggressively. It's all been defense from here. And if Deco just decides to play, say, Booyah Bomb, it would be very disastrous for level 1 giving up their only advantage. Interesting Beluga Dualies being played to activate a special block. It does lose the clash, but 2 points survive that are able to still break through, as level 1 is now contemplating, do they play aggressive now? Do they play defensive? Do they keep trying to play defensive because they keep clashing and those turf points just keep sneaking through? And so we're going to see an aggressive play from level 1 now, taking advantage of that turn 2 heavy splatling. We're going to see a Moz, very aggressive from Deco. It will not have a chance to, I suppose, follow up with a Scrapper. The Zinc just doesn't allow for that. However, Octo Stamp is still playable. It's another combo card that can work. It will activate both cards. We see a defensive Scallop base building here from Deco, and then the Reflex hopefully setting up for a Tri-Stringer. A very nice E-Leader, as both players will gain special this turn. E-Leader does very well to activate the H3 Nozzle Nose, and we see the aforementioned Octo Stamp activating the Boz and itself. The Splushmatic doesn't really have the greatest spot to fit, Spider Shot can be played upside down and will generate a special point. Level 1 right now, really just waiting for a Tri-Stringer to show up. No other real options right now to gain special points. The Tony Kenza will be played at the bottom, looking to activate its combo with the Splash Wall. Forgot the name for a second. We see Splashomatic from level 1, looking to just maybe generate one more special point and potentially defend against anything that would reach into the Tri-Stringer. The Splash Wall will combo, and Deco will go up to 6 special points. We go to final 3 turns. Level 1 still not drawing the Tri-Stringer. Just left with that Octopod to be able to play. Maybe considering a special attack early, hoping that they will draw Tri-Stringer next turn and be able to fire off their special attack. 312 of Triple Ink Strike or Ink Vac on the final turn. Level 1 really wants to see Tri-Stringer here, and they do in fact draw it. The Ink Vac would have been disastrous there, as they would have only had the Octopod left to play. Deco, with 7 special points, will be able to use 2 special attacks in these final 2 turns, down by 22, and potentially down by 33 after this Tri-Stringer. We're going to see how Deco decides to make up those points. Just because Deco has that 7 special point advantage, it doesn't really mean much when you only need 3 to hit that final turn breakpoint of playing that 312. That's the big number you want to hit, the 3 special points. We know that level 1 is hitting it, and Booyah Bomb will be used, trying to even out the score. Still down by 15, not really able to do too much. Level 1 is going to have Ink Vac, very nice, being able to cover so much of that Booyah Bomb. 108 to 72 would be more than enough. Instead, trying to look for better, getting the same results with Triple Ink Strike, that'll be more than enough. With only 4 special points for Deco, even a 312 just has no hope of taking out all that big of a gap. And so the second game will also go to level 1. The final score of 97 to 83, a pretty commanding victory, partially thanks to that aggressive turn 2 play. And that's something we see quite a bit on Thunderpoint. You can play defensive, but it is risky, and super aggressive cards like Heavy Splatling, Tri-Stringer, other cards that are able to just loop around your opponent's defense do very well to break through defenses on this map. And so once again, we go 2-0, this time not in favor of Deco, as we see potentially Girder for battle, if the players are alright with that. Usually only the first 7 maps are allowed, but if both players agree to it, then any map can be played. We're not here to outright say you can't play on this map, you can't do this. We're just gonna say, gentleman saws it, it's perfectly fine. Instead, going back to X Marks the Garden, it's alright if a player doesn't gentleman to a stage they don't want to play on. X Marks the Garden, we saw this last time. Deco doesn't really have the greatest deck to deal with this map, just the wide spaces that you want to take up. We see Overlorder, a lot of chargers from level 1, and I assume those are going to be used in an effort to try to block off the left or right side of the map. Yes, you can see Dynamo Rollers, you can see E-Leaders, several tools to block off the sides of the map, and if you can block it off, that's like a second base for you to use to special build, generate more turf. We see Hydra Splatling now, as level 1 takes quite a bit of space and looks to take the center very hard. This is something we saw from Deco, if I'm not mistaken, in the Tableturf Palestinian Gift Tournament, the Octoling around the starting block, followed up by the Scallop. It was played on Girder for battle there. However, we're going to see this Splat Charger loop around the scallop. This is partially one of the reasons why you want to have a 7-wide card to block off the base to prevent this exact scenario. This may end up becoming a very, very dangerous situation for Deco as they realize that their base is being completely overrun, and this Tri-Stringer will just further cement the damages. It will also activate the special block of the Splat Charger and just continue to pile on the damages to Deco's base. It may be difficult to activate the starting block now because of that odd shape, and Deco really doesn't have much to show for it. The Tri-Stringer on the right is nice. We're going to see Tony Kenza, it won't be able to activate its own special block due to the Tri-Stringer getting in the way of the splash wall, but it will activate the starting block as level 1 immediately pivots and looks to the right side. They know they have the left side of the map pretty much completely locked down, and so they're now focusing their attempts on the right side where it's still possible to break in. There's a bit of spot open that Deco has left. Passing with the blue Vigilies, I'm not sure if that's a misplay or not. Regardless, it's not the greatest for Deco to deal with. Level 1, probably able to use that Zinc, and not able to actually, just shy of being able to break in. As crazy as it sounds, level 1 is not able to enter that space at all with the cards provided. Tri-Stringer doesn't work, the Sploosh doesn't work, and instead will have to focus their efforts elsewhere. In fact, I believe I know why Deco passed. She's looking, if I'm not mistaken, to use a special attack? No, instead playing Mod. I would have expected a special attack such as, I guess, Tentamissiles or Booyah Bomb, something to potentially break through the Hydra Spotling from Deco, given that she does in fact have 3 special points. Those are options available to her. Passing the Scrapper, just nowhere to play. There's a good chance that Deco just does not have the cards in her hand to be able to play aggressively. And with this heavy Spotling, even if she does do it now, there's basically no hope of taking any more space than she already has. We see level 1 really not gaining that many special points. However, instead doing what happened in game 1, just taking an overwhelming turf lead to the point where special points don't even matter. We now see the Booyah Bomb, although it will be a bit late, there's not much that can be done about it, as the special blocks now even out 1 apiece. Level 1 is still ahead by 12 points, and this Sploosh-O-Matic will further increase that lead by another 9 up to 20. It won't be able to activate special points, which can be a bit of a problem, as Deco does start gaining more special points, hopefully trying to come back, as level 1 now has to pass the next 2 turns, as we see Deco mounting a comeback, building up those special points. Level 1 has to pass yet again, as Deco has 4 special points. Maybe a small special attack with the splash wall could be used, and then Tentamissiles fired off afterwards. We'll have to see, because level 1 does have the triple Ink Strike or Ink Vac available. In fact, I see a very nice spot for the Ink Vac that's 1 off of a perfect 312. We see a normal splash ball being played, not taking full advantage of the special points. And now it is going to be just 1 more turn, both players with a 312 to be played. And we're going to see what level 1 figures out to do. The special blocks are slightly annoying, especially around the base. The Ink Vac there is very nice, however, it will be bridging that 24-point gap that is necessary to secure a win, and so that will be a 3-0 sweep, this time in favor of level 1. That sends Deco down to the loser's bracket, as this is a double elimination tournament. And so, with that, this third set comes to a close. Once again, a sweep for the victor.